Now let's do the color and the metallic and the roughness, right? Cool. So let's start with the color. Let's start with a uniform color, and let's give it the color for the base, which is going to be something like this. And I'm gonna also, in my base material, I'm gonna turn on the base color, and that should give you your base color here. Cool. Blend. Cool. Let's You can set a color for your um pattern, for your threads pattern. That can be anything, like let's just say let's something like blue and blue, and we can just put a dot here and call our threads alpha and put it here, and that will paint our entire um, threads blue. If you want more finer control over this, like maybe you don't want the middle of these threads to be colored, so what you can do is um, we can have a dot node here, which we can call threads multiplied or something, threads multi. Let's just we can call it anything, doesn't matter. And instead of threads alpha, let's just call our threads multi. And so you're starting to get that that true color difference between the base and your threads. We can take it ahead, we can do a level, and if you start to increase it, or you can start to crunch it, right? So you are getting that feel of the color not being there so much at the bottom. You can crunch this effect to your liking until you start to get this, right? Cool, and that's cool. Now we can have a color for our strays. So let's just do white. Dot. And let's select our strays and put that into our base color. And we are actually getting it, but it's really the map is really thin, so we can just do our levels, and we can increase the effect of those of the strays on the color. If you want different colors to each of these thread patterns and thread alpha shapes, what you can do is you can just take your threads alpha. So let's take the threads alpha, which is this. Let's feed it through a flood fill, and let's give it a flood fill to random color, and that will give you a randomized color for all of your shapes. You can do some HSL to it. You can do hue saturation value. You can change its hue, right? And basically what you can do is you can just take your base color for the original color for the threads, and you can just blend it with your random colors. And so if you reduce it, you will start to see just a little bit of color variation. And yeah, that looks good. Cool. So that's my color here. And let's just do the roughness now. So let's start with the uniform color. But it should be grayscale. The color of the base of the embroidery should be like the roughness should be near white, because it should be really rough. we can do a blend, and we can choose the roughness for our threads here. And let's just reduce it just a little bit. And same thing that we did with the color. Let's just do a dot node and threads multi. Oopsie, yeah. And so if I reduce it, I'll start to get back some shine on my threads, but that looks like it's painted, right? But a lot of times these embroideries, they have like metallic threads, so we can do that. After this, we also need to set the roughness for our strays, and I'm gonna put that to be really rough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same levels which we used on the color for the strays, and I'm going to put that here, because that exaggeration needs to be on the roughness as well. Cool, that's that. Now let's do the metalness map for it, and it's going to be really simple. Uniform color, which is going to be grayscale, but it's going to be black. And then blend, and then this is going to be the metalness of our threads, and do the same thing. The threads multi will lead to this metalness here. And let's grab another blend, and let's grab these are for the strays again, and this will be the value for our strays. And so we got a zero metalness for our strays, and our threads are a little bit metallic. And so in the base material, let's just turn on metallic now, and let's feed it here. Whenever I do substance design graphs, I always make it a habit to multiply the ambient occlusion with my color. So let's just do it. So I'm gonna do an HBAO, and I'm gonna choose the height from it and plug it in, and that's gonna give me this ambient occlusion, this really dark and contrasty ambient occlusion. I'm gonna reduce its depth just a little bit, so I get something like this, and I'll blend it with my color. To convert a grayscale back to color, you can do a gradient map, and I'm gonna put it to multiply, and so that gives you that extra depth in your substance graph. Maybe not too much, just a little bit of detailing we can add with this, and we're done, guys. So that was it. This was a really simple and fun material to create. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.